Welcome to my basement. It's, a pretty nice basement.
You see that water heater right there? Well, funny story. After I finished shooting last week's video, my socks were wet. And that was kind of weird, so I did some investigating, and it turns out that old water heater decided it didn't want to be a water heater anymore. So the bottom fell out and it flooded half the basement. Now the good news is we have this nice new water heater now, and no more flooded basement because we borrowed a wet dry vac from my aunt and cleaned it all up. The other really nice thing about that is that it encouraged us to clean the rest of the basement space. So no more is it filled with random assortments of stuff. And I can get to work on continuing the project of turning it into a recording space. In a sense, it's a very good thing that I came down here to record last week, because if I hadn't gotten my socks all wet, then we probably wouldn't have even noticed that the water heater gave up the ghost, and that would have ended poorly. So it all worked out in the end. Now today, I'm going to start painting, and I've picked this lovely dark gray color, which actually came from my mother's house when she was finished, so free paint. I'm not going to complain. And you may have noticed that I'm all decked out and stylish today. You may be wondering why that is if I'm about to paint a wall. Well, that's because the word of the day is intentionality. Let me explain what I mean. Sometimes in life, when we have something to do, we do it without thinking, or we try and rush through it because we want to get to other fun things that are more interesting than painting walls. Well, the problem with that is that we only have this one life to live, and if you're just rushing through it, you're not really standing back and appreciating it. And when it comes to something like painting, the key to a successful painting job is to go slowly and do it well. And that's something that you don't always do when you're rushing, because instead you're just kind of slopping paint all over the walls, and it doesn't end particularly beautifully, let's say. So I've worn this very nice outfit, my best outfit probably, so that I will be constantly reminded to be intentional about my job that I'm doing today. My goal is to paint this wall without getting a drop of paint on me. And one of the ways to do that is to be intentional. I hope that that will help you a little bit as well, so that when we are all doing whatever it is, the task that we have to do today, we can do it with a little more consciousness instead of just rushing our way through it. One other thing that I wanted to note before I continue on with this job is you can actually take this too far in the other direction. And I've seen that happen, and I've been a victim, and, well, not a victim, I've done it myself as well. You can become a perfectionist. And when you are a perfectionist, sometimes things don't get done at all. And that's equally a problem. You don't want to do things too slapdash and quickly, but you also don't want to do things so slowly that nothing ever gets accomplished. Because otherwise, you'll be putting it off, and, well, perfection never comes, at least not this side of glory. So I recommend that you shoot for very good. If you do a very good job, then you won't be handcuffed by perfectionism, but you also won't do a terrible, quick, and dirty job. Intentionality, that's the way to go. I'm going to get back to painting and give it my full attention, because if I don't, well, this outfit's going to get like a mess and the wall's not going to look great. So until next time, I hope that you will give whatever project you have your best intentionality without being handcuffed by perfectionism. And we will see you next time.
Look at that. Not a drop on me. I'd say that's a success.